What's going on, guys? My name's Kyle. Here we talk about marathon training, and more specifically in this video, we're gonna go over my 16 miler that I ran just a couple hours ago. We're gonna talk about the morning of, kind of the little rituals that I do to kind of hope that seem to ensure success, how the miles felt, how I fueled, overall stats of the run, and then how it feels to cap off a 44-mile week, being that we've been kind of slowly building for about 10 weeks now. As we head towards the Buffalo Marathon, my goal for the Buffalo Marathon is a 3 hour and 25-minute time. That would be a huge PB for me. So if you're new to the channel, you can expect more videos on how I'm building towards completing that goal, or at least coming close, or maybe smashing it. At the moment, I feel like smashing it is probably pretty likely, but we gotta stay the course. So yeah, let's start with last night. I ate a huge Chipotle burrito. I always get a veggie burrito. I did add a little bit of cheese to this because I really miss, honestly, the flavor of that. And I also get the honey Chipotle vinaigrette, and I drizzle that in to the burrito. So I think that really adds a punch. If you've never gotten the vinaigrette, go for it. So I really loaded up on, I'd say, both, protein, carbs the night before, huge meal. And we basically were just relaxing for the rest of the night. Fast forward to this morning, 6 a.m. wake up. First thing I do is take a couple sips of the Element electrolyte supplement drink. I always have kind of like a 20 ounce mixed up in the fridge, and I start most mornings with 1 to 2 sips. I never drink a whole one in a day because I feel like that's a lot of sodium, and I more just use it as topping off my actual diet where I get sodium, because I don't want to be like ODing on sodium, just to keep like your sodium potassium levels and heart health, and there's a lot going on there, so just keep track of your sodium really. But if you're running a lot, you need it. My breakfast was 8 ounces of coffee with a little bit of maple syrup in there. I did have 1 piece of Ezekiel bread toast with grape jelly on it. We really needed to go grocery shopping, so this was honestly all we had. But it was nice, light, minimally processed bread, piece of toast, jelly, a little bit of a glucose spike to get things going. Last second, I did switch to a lighter top. I was planning on wearing a New Balance kind of fleece running top, but switched to a lighter hoodie that I honestly was just thinking I would run a little bit quicker if I was really cold. My torso doesn't end up being cold. It's always kind of the fingers. Yeah, that was kind of an easy last second switch as I was looking at the temps and knowing that it was gonna get 5 to 6 degrees warmer throughout the run. I did go to the bathroom twice beforehand. That's honestly really important before doing a really long run. Then I just drove to the start, which is 5-6 minutes down the road. Got the run going by 7:45 a.m. I was carrying about 8 ounces of water, 3 Unived gels that I took. I'll let you know when I took those, but 3 Unived, 180 caffeinated gels. It's the caramel latte flavor. Yeah, and I was carrying the Action Hero. That's not a camera. Action 3. Yeah, so that was the morning before I got into the run. Join me on a 16-mile run, and it's 21 degrees out. So taking a look at kind of the first half of the run, the first 8 miles out, I just tried to keep things, keep it pretty easy. I wanted to keep the HR in a nice place. I think that was pretty well represented. There are some solid climbs in there, nothing I'm not used to. I do the barn loop very often, and this was a huge portion of that. There's some good climbs, but they're very consistent, and you never really there's really only one climb that has like a hard grade. Everything else is really gradual. So you don't really realize, but you're working harder than just if you were cruising on, a flat course. We started the run around 21 degrees Fahrenheit. We probably built up to about the 8 mile point. I'd say maybe it got to about 25, 26 degrees. So yeah, nice sunny day for the first 8 out. I took one of the Unived gels at 4 miles, which is always a little bit of a, challenge, I'd say, with like the winter gloves on. You're carrying water. and you don't want to have your fingers exposed too long, but I generally will take my left glove off, slip out the gel, rip off the top, put it in my mouth so that I don't have gel like, squirting out everywhere, put the glove back on. Then I do like the first kind of squeeze pull, get as much as I can out of it. And pro tip, if you're someone that takes larger gels, once I'd say you get like halfway through it in your first like 1 or 2 gulps, fold it in half, like vertically. And I found that it's a lot easier to just kind of like pull whatever you can't quite get out of there. That was something I honestly discovered today. There was some pulling on the inside of my right heel. It definitely feels muscular, and I've never really had it before. I did notice it a little bit yesterday when I was just kind of walking around the house. It's something that would pull for a second and then would feel fine. It definitely felt better on uphills and climbs. So it's something I haven't felt before. Definitely gonna just be monitoring that moving forward, and maybe doing some heat on that spot or something like that. Just gonna keep an eye on it. Not super worried about it. You don't want to make any predictions about these things, but it doesn't seem like a big problem yet. Obviously, turning around, headed back to the start, gonna take my second gel, Univet 180 caffeinated. So overall, we got 16 miles in at a 9:14 pace. We were moving for 2 hours, 27 minutes, 44 seconds, 1,011 feet of gain. That's pretty awesome. And average heart rate, 150 BPM. I'll throw some more stats on the screen kind of as we talk through this bit. This is kind of the first week of part 2. We hit 44 miles for the week, and I'm really excited about where I'm at with this build. We'll have a good test in the half mid-April. It'll be really flat, so I'm thinking once I get closer to that point, we'll kind of switch away from doing the longer runs with the hills and the climbs, and we'll go run, the actual race course is, about 15 minutes from here, so I'll be doing my long runs right on the course. These times and paces that I'm currently doing, when we make that transition to flatter ground, is gonna really give me, I think, a real sense of comfort being able to push it at some quicker paces, but we'll see when we get there. I wanted to throw in that the Invincibles have proven to be kind of a good and bad shoe for me. They're good because they're a very, very cushioned shoe. I think they save the legs. They allow me to I think they allow anyone, honestly, to kind of strike and run a certain way that feels more natural to them. So they're good because you can do a lot of things in them, and the cushion is really, really great. I will just say that I think the bad part is I'm never gonna really get a good lockdown in the heel, which I'm beginning to realize as I kind of run in them more and more. I just feel like my heels maybe are so narrow that moving forward, I maybe not, in the next training block, not going for an Invincible. Even though I really love the ride, it makes me a little bit nervous about having a slight movement in the heel. I feel like I could get a blister out of nowhere, or maybe that's something that's starting to kind of bug me with that little pull on my heel. It's just not worth it, and I've run in some daily trainers that fit me a lot better. So yeah, something I'll probably explore more in the future. One note I did want to say is I might be gelling too often. I did a gel at 4.8, and I was planning on doing one at 12, but pushed it back to 13 because I was honestly still kind of burping a little bit. My body felt good. I could just really taste the last gel still in my mouth, and wasn't I just was not looking forward to it by the time I hit 12, nor did I feel exhausted or I really needed it. But also it's really important to, I think, train to take fuel and nutrition on runs before you feel like crap. Because once you feel like crap, you're pretty much, you might not be able to come back from that. So I still took it at 13, but it just felt like a lot. So I may do a bit of a shift towards maybe every 5 miles I'm gelling, or maybe just look at actually the timing of things and say maybe I do every 50 minutes regardless of where I'm at, I gel then or something like that, which is, ultimately that's a good thing, right? Maybe I can carry one less gel on race day. Yeah, my final note, which is kind of cool, is I think I'm actually about as fit as I've ever been, which is a weird thing to reflect on, but finishing the run today, I still feel pretty good. It's only been a couple hours. I came in, I took a couple sips of Element, I had a protein shake, took a shower, and things are feeling pretty good. I'm not cooked. I'm not burnt out. I'm not like totally down and out. I feel like I could still do things. Like if I wanted to socialize, I mean, I'm just going to work on editing videos personally because it's a good day for getting projects done. But like, it's certainly an interesting point of, I think the last time I felt this good was like mid 2020. I had a handful of 50-mile weeks and a 60-mile week that summer, but it was all I was doing. And everything was really flowing. And at the moment, things are really flowing, and I've never been this consistent, but just the thought of, you know, continuing this process is really exciting for me. I want to see where we can go with this. Yeah, stay tuned. We might be able to do some pretty cool stuff. So we'll keep rolling. That's all I got for you. That was my 16-miler. Hopefully you got something out of this. This is definitely more of a rambler, but a little bit more authentic perhaps. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your runs. For everyone who's training for your spring marathons, good luck. Stay the course, enjoy the miles, and I'll see you in the next video.